There's many powerful nations in Wiki 3, but none of them are as flavorful as Sweden over here is. I wonder why that is. Could it be because the developers are a Swedish company? No, for sure that's not why. Must be some other reason out there, right? Now, Sweden does start with 54 literacy, which is huge. It has a small population and very little GDP at the start, but because of the amount of flavor we get, we're going to increase our GDP by a lot. And what we're actually going to be doing today is we're going to be forming the first Wiki 3 technocracy, because Sweden has the ability to get technology before anybody else, with the cunning use of educating their population and having a ton of freaking universities around, basically. The main problem we do have is the lack of population, as I mentioned. So in order to fix that, we're gonna have to rely on immigration more than anything else, because when you have 2.7 million population, no matter how much you want to rely on natural birth, it's not gonna happen, boys. You need to get them immigrants in these lands. Now, the easiest way to get immigrants is to have high standard of living and to have great legislation passed that helps people migrate a lot faster to these lands. Now, we do have a lot of great legislation, but we also have some trashy one. So we're gonna have to switch some things around here. First off, we need to go for multiculturalism eventually. Also, we gotta go for total separation of church and state. Elected bureaucrats also helps. And of course, get rid of the oligarchy. Go for landing voting. Eventually, we're gonna go for something else, but for the time being, landed voting is better than nothing. Colonial affairs is also amazing. We want to go for colonial resettlement for the migration attraction in unincorporated states, and because we can get more population by colonizing lands around the south tip of South America, Indonesia, and so on. Our current government is formed out of the Church of Sweden and the landowners. Actually, you know what? I got another idea. Instead of going for this legislation first, let's cancel that. Let's reform our government, because I have a strong suspicion we can actually go for colonization first, as long as we add a few extra parties in our government. So we were able to add in the armed forces and the petite bourgeoisie without too much of an issue. We still have 60 legitimacy, which is better than nothing, right? So now we have a few extra laws available, including colonial resettlement, as well as charity hospitals, which also we want to go for, and even the dedicated police force, which means we don't get the extra political strength for the landowners, which we have right now because we have the local police force. I know I said I'm going to go for the colonization. I changed my mind, because dedicated police force is a lot better, and because it has such high approval, we start from the default with 30% success chance, which means it's very likely that we're going to be passing the dedicated police force a lot faster than we would be passing colonial resettlement. Industrially speaking, and yes, this is probably the only game in which you can say industrially speaking, we have pretty much one of each building. We have some basic stuff that are lacking, like glassworks, food industries, steel manufactories, and so on. The same goes for here. We don't have much of everything, but we can build coal mines, lead mines, which will be of huge help, obviously. We also have iron frame building construction method from day one, but we only have one construction sector, so we're going to increase our construction sectors first, get an extra 2 sectors for now, and we'll build up more as we go along whenever our economy allows it. We are a little bit behind with our technology compared to most of the great powers. And now you're thinking, yo, you told me we gonna be technocracy, bro, but you don't even have starting tech that the British have. That's right. We're gonna catch up to the British. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it too much. We got the benefit of having really high literacy, and we're gonna keep it really high and invest in it a lot. It's pretty vital that we switch over to gas street lights, because it's gonna give us a lot of extra services, but we don't have any coal mines, so we're going to start building up our first coal mines in the province of Scania. We can have up to 8 coal mines. Not really amazing, realistically speaking, is it? Because Scania also has really low market access, we're going to be setting up the road maintenance edict, which is going to increase the infrastructure. There you go. Now it's 24 out of 28, so we don't have the market access debuff anymore. It's going to disappear once I unpause. As for our first technology, I'm going to go for mechanical tools. I want to get railways as soon as possible, and I'm going to be focusing on my production methods. We have very little population, and because of that, we need to have proper production methods where you use less population to build more or to produce more items, and you do that via unlocking the proper technology like engines and so on. We're also going to be setting up some consumption tax. First one on services as always, followed by wine. Now with the rest of the authority points that we have here, we're going to be setting up the promote social mobility edict, which increases the education access in most of our provinces here, and that is great because education is totally something we need to increase if we're going to become that sweet old technocracy I keep talking about here. We cannot really get fiber from too much stuff. We don't have cotton plantations right now, so we're going to queue up some livestock ranches. Livestock ranches also give out a little bit of fiber, and we have very few of them, so let's go with 3 more in Gotaland. We are going to be improving relations with Papa Prussia as well as with Papa Great Britain. Either of these are great allies. Honestly, anyone that wants to get us as an ally is okay in my books, because we do need to have one of the great powers supporting our claims, since we will be attacking the Danes eventually, and once we do attack, if we don't have anyone from the great power supporting us, we might end up in a war that we will lose because they will support the Danes rather than us. Hey, we got our first university in Gotland. That's awesome. That plays right into our whole technocracy dreams right there. The population is on our side. They know what's up. They know it's for the greater good if we have this enacted. I'm also queuing up one of each manufactory here. I'm talking about glassworks, furniture, and food manufactories. Since we will need these as our basic stuff, we want to increase our standard of living after all, and by increasing our standard of living, we get more migrants eventually once we have the right migration laws enacted too. And here's what I think is one of the most powerful things about this country, because I did say that, you know, it is really powerful and flavorful. Look at this, boys. Every single state that Sweden starts with has these ridiculously overpowered modifiers. 20% more iron from this province, as well as 20% more wood from this province here. The same goes for the capital. 15% iron, 10% lead, 20% wood, as well as max port level, naval base, shipyards, and so on. It's the same for all these provinces. Like, come on, really? Every single province has a freaking modifier. Every single one. It just feels like maybe we should give some of these modifiers to other countries too. Like, you know, Prussia only has 2 modifiers. Argentina also would need some modifiers like in these areas. I'm not talking just about Argentina. A lot of other countries need some unique flavor, at least from some small modifiers. End of the day, once we get proper immigration going, Sweden with these modifiers and a really huge population in these provinces is going to be insanely powerful. We managed to get better farming methods, which means we are going to be using less laborers and clergymen, and we increase the amount of farmers that we have, which in turn means that we're going to be producing more. Same goes here. We're going to be producing more fertilizers now that we have a better livestock production method, which is going to be used for the rye farms. So it's basically a snowball effect where our economy increases from just switching these small production methods around. And I feel like it is time to build a couple more universities now in our capital. I queue them up whenever they're ready. They're ready. We're doing it slowly. We're not rushing here, and we don't want to crash our economy from having too many universities at the same time also. Now I'm attempting to take over Denmark, and the British joined on their side. So what I can do for this is I can call in the French. I'm going to offer to humiliate the British for the French. That should be enough to get them on my side. And let's face it, France has a much stronger army than Britain does, so it should be fairly easy for me to win this. Hey, they backed down! Oh my freaking... Oh, that's bad. That's bad because I didn't get the rest of Denmark. I was happy for a second there. Having both France and Prussia on my side against the British was the juiciest thing that happened to me in this whole playthrough. But, you know what? It's fine. We got free land, I guess, end of the day, right? Let's incorporate these bad boys. We got 600,000 pops. Now, because we have the textile mills here, we need to start importing dye and silk in order for production to keep on happening in this province. So let's do that. Hopefully there is some silk. Yep, looks like we do have some silk from the French and the Austrians that we can import. It is probably going to be that silk and dye are going to be the most expensive things in our country, aren't they? Some of the most expensive. We actually have really high demand for porcelain and sugar. Let's go for that too. A little bit of porcelain never did anything wrong for anyone, did it? And we just got colonial resettlement too. So let's go ahead and start colonizing the south tip here of South America. Oh, we got sulfur in the south of America. Okay, that is great because we need to switch our production method, and we do need sulfur for that. So let's build up our ports in South America now in order to give these provinces access to our market. There's a chance that we can also switch over to public schools. That's great because this way we get also assimilation alongside education access for our people to become more Swedish, I guess. How does one even become more Swedish? Do you like like eat pickled herring more than usual. I mean, I'm not saying that people usually eat pickled herring, but Swedish do eat a lot of pickled herring, don't they? At least that's what I've heard from some skits in the past. Netherlands want to have a defensive pact with us. You know what? I'll take it. I was trying to get an alliance or a defensive pact with Prussia, but they're not really biting on my proposals here. They don't really like me very much, so I was thinking of letting them keep Schleswig because I'm a little bit of a German boo, but I probably will take at least half of Schleswig because they piss me off now. Payment for not being my friend. You don't want to be my friend? Well, I'm taking your stuff then. That's how it goes here. And they want a trade agreement too. Yeah, sure, we can do that. I think the Dutch actually have a lot of stuff that we need, don't they? Like engines, and what else do we need? Fabric, if I'm not mistaken, we need a little bit more. Wood also. Take note, whenever you have a trade agreement with another nation, what happens is you do not pay bureaucracy to establish trade routes with that nation, but you also do not have any tariffs that you're getting from trading with those nations. So it's a little bit of a trade-off, right? Get it? Trade-off? When you're trading? Alright, I'll stop. So let's hover over our standard of living and see why exactly our people don't have that much of a standard of living. Looks like we have clothes, furniture, and glass extremely expensive. So let's try and focus on that. Let's try and build more food, furniture, and glass works around our country. Finally, we got railways. Let's build one in our capital and one in Scania. I'll click these because we have desperate need for increasing our market access in these two provinces. We've kind of been building a little bit too much in these two lands because they do have a little bit higher population and they also have the resources that we need. Namely, Scania is the only place that we have coal in right now. One of the best techs in the game, mechanized workshops, is going to be hugely beneficial when you're a smaller country. You basically want to stack up the same buildings in one province to take advantage of the economy of scale throughput. By having 10 factories of the same type in one province, we get an extra 10% goods output. This can go up to, say, 50 factories in one state eventually once you get the other technologies unlocked as well, giving you basically 50% more goods produced because they're all in the same place. Oh dear, did we just get the People's Party and the I don't want to say socialists in here, but yeah, it's mostly the socialists. Are we going down the socialist path? No, we're not doing that. Not this run, no. Hey boys, look at that. We got guaranteed liberties. Let's get this whilst it's on the table. One of the best legislation to pass, by the way. Well, this time the French sided with the Danes, so we're gonna have to call in the Prussians. We're gonna offer them Schleswig-Holstein. I guess we're splitting Holstein province into half to the Prussians, half to us, like good old buddies and friends. Okay, that's weird. Now, the Russians went on their side, and the French are not supporting anymore. In fact, the French backed out completely. What the hell? Hold on. Oh, I see what's going on. They got another diplomatic play. All right, let's get another general. We're going to have to use this bad boy to defend over here once they attack my Norwegian boys, I guess. Or not. All right, that's interesting. So they're... Oh, the front lines in Prussia. I see what's going on here. I see what's going on. We should be able to win this. The Russians don't really have strong troops compared to the Prussian units. And we just capitulated Denmark. Noise. Now we got all of the Scandinavian areas for ourselves, essentially. Wait, what? Schleswig-Holstein is actually ours? What? They're a personal union of ours. So that means that the Prussians did not enforce their deal then. Oh, they still can. Oh, right. Okay, so here's what we can do then. We can just capitulate and then basically Prussia doesn't get anything, do they? Nope. Oh, that's such a freaking exploit right there. Oh, are they still in the war against the Russians then? They're fighting a war against Russia for absolutely no war goals. This should not, this should be patched, bros. Seriously, this should be patched. All right, let's see if we can form Scandinavia now. It looks like we cannot just yet. We don't have pan-nationalism. I forgot with the recent patch they changed it. We need to get pan-nationalism to form Scandinavia now. So we're gonna have to wait until that happens then. Now, I'm not gonna have any wars for the foreseeable future, so I'm going to switch my units to irregulars and infantry focus. This way I save up a lot of money on my military spending, and I mean a lot of money. Look at our budget here going up like crazy. We're actually almost finished paying off all of our debt, and that means we can also start expanding expanding our construction sectors a little bit more. Actually, we should start expanding our universities a little bit more, shouldn't we? Let's go another 2 universities in the capital. Now we have a little bit of a dilemma here. We could join the British market. They're asking us to switch over to their customs union. Realistically speaking, that actually would help us quite a lot because they are a bigger market and it would allow us to focus on goods that give us income rather than just overall on everything. But I am a stubborn bastard and I want to stick with my own Swedish market because I feel like I'm doing a pretty decent job as it is right now. We got up to 20 million. There you go. We're in the top 15 nations for GDP compared to our start, and we didn't need anybody to do this. We're also really well off with most of our industry here, and we are in the process of getting new colonies around the world that give even more resources. We're going to be getting dyes soon from Indonesia as well. So I'm not going to rely on the English market, even though that would be the easy way out of this situation right now, to be fair. We're also super close to getting pan-nationalism. That means we're going to be forming a Scandinavia, and when that happens, we're getting access to all the Norwegian, all the Danish provinces, so our GDP is going to be skyrocketing as consequence. So we've waited for quite a little bit of time before we did enact the Scandinavian nation here, so let's go ahead and form Scandinavia. Now, the reason I waited was, well, a few reasons really. Second reason is because I was busy in the south here a little bit. I actually turned Schleswig and Holstein into puppets, so there you go. It is a puppet of myself right now instead of a personal union, which is what it was before. That being said, most likely the Prussians will kill me to take Schleswig, so I'm a little bit worried having this province. I might have to abandon this eventually. 300,000 pops and 2 million GDP. Not too bad overall. Now that we got all those lands, let's make sure we standardize and we make sure that every single province has the same production method. Oh, my boys, we got an achievement. All right, we got I am Scandinavian, where we basically just have to form Scandinavia, so it was not really that hard of an achievement, let's face it. Hold on a second, we now have gold mines. Oh, that's in the South of America, that makes sense. What about dye plantations? That's in Celebes, that makes sense as well. I guess we didn't really get much in terms of new goods from the conquered lands, well, annexed lands. We did get a lot of coal though. I believe in Eastern Norway, if I'm not mistaken, has coal. I am mistaken, it has iron instead of coal. How about, does it have any modifiers? It does have, actually, fishing industry throughput and whaling industry throughput. All right, I'm cool with that. I'm down with that. And we also get the That's exactly how we pronounce that, by the way, in case you were ever wondering. Which gives us a lot of extra naval base capacity. Let's see what shortages we have now. Engine shortage, and that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and import some engines. And let's go ahead and incorporate all of the newly integrated provinces, because it doesn't automatically do that. It's weird like that. I don't know why, but it is annoying. Whenever you click the button and you form a nation, you should automatically have all of the new states incorporated. At least in my opinion, you should. And we are extremely behind with bureaucracy. 22% tax wastage. Let's start building a ton of governing capacity buildings and change the production method as well. And we also managed to catch the stripper, my boys. Clapped in irons and made to eat pickled herring for sure afterwards. I can already see Jackie, oh boy, enjoying those pickled herrings and going like, no, no more, please. I regret everything now. Stop making me eat the pickled herring. The smarter people in the chat will indicate that, oh, you can just go to decree state actions and click your button there in order to incorporate instead of going from one province to another. I know, I am aware. I just like to do it the good old-fashioned way. Okay, I'm special. Come on. Looks like there's a little bit of trouble in paradise. And by paradise, I mean in Prussia, of course. That is obviously paradise, right? The actual government of Prussia only has 2 states left, the capital and Anhalt, whilst the radicals have the entirety of their country. My money here is on the radicals. Just saying, I feel like they might win this. I'm looking at the coal map mode, and it's pretty disgusting that the only area of the world that does not have coal is my area. Like, look at this. Everybody's got coal except for me. This is just not fair, man. Seriously. I feel like I just need to conquer another country simply to get their coal. And I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to do that to you, Argentina. I love you, boys, but everybody knows Argentina was always and will always be Scandinavian land. Let's face it. It's just, that's fact. You cannot play around with facts, you know? Oh my lord, we just got proportional taxation. This is gonna be huge for us. We're gonna get so much more money now that we can use towards making a better world, of course. That's what we're all about. And guess what? We went up to about 25 universities now too. So after we kill off the Argentinians, we're gonna educate the Argentinians too. We're just the best, aren't we? I don't know why I'm talking in third person. It is a little bit weird, not gonna lie. I'm not really doing too much expansion in this particular playthrough because I'm trying to have more fun playing Toll essentially and focus on my technocratic situation, if you know what I mean. But that being said, whoa, what? Oh, Argentina just backed out. Yeah, wussies. That being said, we do have a pretty strong army, I was gonna say, which we will use if we need to use it, so keep that in mind, like we will here against the Mapuche because they were Schnappledupes and Prussia wants me to join their customs union. No, stop asking me that, dude. Everybody's asking me to join their union. Great Britain, now Prussia. What is wrong with you people? All I want for Christmas is to have a Scandinavian union. That's it, boys. Nothing else. Big respect for Mapuche if they actually fight me. It means that these natives have more bowls than the Argentinians had, if you really think about it. And they did have more bowls than the Argentinians. Hails to the Yaboyos. We are still crushing them though, obviously. We're fighting natives here. Don't get too freaking excited, okay? I feel like one of the best parts about forming Scandinavia is that we have as primary cultures all the Nordic cultures, Danish, Norwegian, Swedish, Icelandic. So because of that, it really makes our life a lot easier and we are just taking advantage. Wait a second, why is Finnish not in this? I mean, I know they're not technically Scandinavian, but it does include the Finnish provinces when it tells me to unify Scandinavia. So if I had this, I would have integrated this also. So yeah, my question still stands. Why is Finnish not included? That's a peculiar thing, isn't it? I've also made the Middle Eastern parts here as a vital interest or strategic interest, sorry, so that I can attack and get some opium lands from the Persians, Afghans, and so on. I'm not doing a colonial empire, but still, you know, I need some colonies for the different resources, right? And since we have mobilized our units, we might as well puppet Chile too. Let's begin lowering relations with them since we need to lower relations in order to attack them, obviously. Madagascar does have some interesting resources that we want to get our foot into, and that's pretty much the only reason we're attacking them. We don't really care about this that much, you know. It's not amazing land or anything of the sorts, but it is land that has special resources. As for our next target, we need to get something that has a lot of population so we can get those people from that particular population pool to migrate to our lands now. So I am, of course, eyeing up the African lands. Hey, my boys, we just became a great power. What? We're the world's 6th great power. We're right behind the Prussians with our GDP, and it's growing at an alarming rate for other nations. Standard of living 16.9, 7th in the world. And we do have apparently the people with the biggest peepees. I don't know. I saw that stat somewhere. I don't remember right now where. Just stop asking questions. Go away, alright? Just leave me alone. And we've also become a presidential republic, meaning we now have a president rather than a king. President Aaron Verne. Okay, seriously, what kind of a name is this man? For real now. And he's a nihilist. Oh no! Nihilism? I didn't even know that's a thing in this game. Holy shit, okay, that's pretty cool. Check out our amazing legislations, boys. We got public schools, guaranteed liberties, total separation of church and state, multiculturalism, universal suffrage, and proportional taxation. So we have some of the best legislation in the game already enacted. We got to get some more though, so public health insurance is going to be the next one I'm going to be working on, of course. Argentina did not seem very happy with my proposition of annexing them, so I have to do it the good old-fashioned way here, by brute force, essentially. And that was the last we're going to see of the Argentinians. We're also super close to enacting our public health insurance, which is one of the few remaining legislations that we still haven't gotten that we need. We've been seriously getting a massive amount of immigrants in our country. Right now, look at our population distribution. Aside from Swedish Norwegians, we have 1 million Occitane. That means 1 million people from France decided it's better living in our country rather than in France, the strongest nation at the start of this campaign. Apparently, one of the most expensive trade good right now in our country is art. We've reached the point in our civilization here where we have everything that we need, basic stuff, and we're just in huge need of more art. If that doesn't say that we're living the good life, I don't know what does, man. And another Aussie 10 migration. What the hell is happening? Why is everybody from France coming to our country? This is insane, dude. We're barely keeping up with the amount of people that are migrating. In just 2 months, we got close to 1 million population. That is absolutely mind-blowing, dude. We're also close to getting some technologies that most countries have not even seen because of the amount of innovativeness that we have. Holy snaps, we're able to build synthetic plants now. Truly one of the marvels of this game. Synthetic plants are perfect for nations that don't have complete access to some rare resources, i.e. pretty much all of the Europeans. And now I reached the point where I don't know what interest to declare because there's so freaking many interests that I can declare. And also continue to build some construction sectors. I feel like we have way too much excess money now compared to the amount of construction sectors that we got. I've been playing it safe, to be fair, in this campaign. And of course, it's not a Vicky 3 campaign without Prussia attacking the Russians multiple times. What's the word deal now? They got East Prussian Treaty Port. Oh, what? The Russians attacked the Prussians. Or I am so confused. I'm guessing this was somebody else's war and it ended up just the Prussians and the Russians duking it out again. Literacy 71%. They're catching up to me actually with literacy. Not sure how I feel about that. Need to up the amount of universities, I guess. I did cancel most of my social mobility edicts because I didn't have enough authority, so that's probably one of the main reasons why. Check it out, boys. We just got protected speech that offers an extra 25% technology spread. Holy mother of warfare. All of Germany is up in arms. Everybody's fighting everybody else. I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, it's ridiculous the amount of wars happening right now in the German region. Now, I want to take a second here and explain technology and how it exactly works in Vicky 3 because we are playing as a technocratic nation, so this is probably the best chance I'll ever have. It's fairly simple, guys. We have a weekly amount of innovation that we get, and we use this innovation to gain different technologies. Now, what influences the amount of innovation that we have is two things. We have, first off, two types of innovation. We have the direct innovation and the passive one. Direct one is basically whenever you click on a technology, you use direct innovation to actually research that technology, but there's also passive innovation or passive technology spread, whatever you want to call it. Now you can see here the technology spread is influenced from your literacy. There's a base value as well as the unspent amount of innovation. That's basically the excess from whatever's left from your universities, as well as protected speech, which is the legislation that we passed a while back. This results in technology spread between 51 and 153, and currently it is passively researching pneumatic tools and floating harbor, and this changes and fluctuates pretty much randomly. Now, the weekly innovation, the active one that we have, is capped. Right now it's capped at 162. There's a 50 base value, and you increase the base value based on your literacy. So if we have 100% literacy, I think we have like 150 literacy or something like that we can increase our innovation to, so we can eventually get 200 innovation per week that we can use to invest in technology. And that is absolutely insane because despite starting as one of the least technologically advanced nations, because we've invested so much in universities, I mean, we have like what now? 56 universities right now we've actually outshined everybody else. We can actually get airplanes if we want to invest in that in just 2 years from now. Actually, even faster than that, isn't it? But I'm not doing that obviously because I want to mainly focus on my production path, and because obviously even though airplanes are cool and stuff, they're not really as important as production technology is. But I probably will use some airplane or something on the thumbnail to trick you into clicking into this video, because you will think, oh, airplane means really high tech, means really good for game, when the reality is no. The real tech that is actually important is pneumatic tools, steam turbine, oil turbine. This is the stuff that actually makes Vicky 3 run better, and the stuff that makes your country a ton better than everybody around you. But no, if I put this on the thumbnail, you'll be like, boring, who cares about a steam turbine? I care about airplane. Give me the airplane, Ludi. Shut up, you don't know what's good for you. Come on, God Schnappledoop. Also, guys, I really am trying to get to 160,000 subs by the end of this year. And I know I just basically trashed you a little bit. But hey, if it's in the past now, okay? If you enjoy the videos, consider subscribing. Would really mean the world to me. And if you enjoyed this video in particular, you're gonna love this Russia video up next. And I want to give a massive thank you to all of my patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers. I would not be able to do this without all your support.